So Emma James is here. We're going to have a look at Media Watch. Emma, you've been having a look at a very awkward moment for Angela Merkel. She's not had an easy time of it lately, and things just got worse.
Yes, absolutely. Angela Merkel has come in for so much criticism when it comes to Greece, but now one of the other main issues of current affairs at the moment, immigration, has reared its very ugly head right in front of her live on television. Now, it really is every politician's worst nightmare when you take a strong stance on a particularly contentious issue. Now, here she is on live television in Germany, and she was in a room full of 14 to 17-year-olds, so she might have been expecting a fairly easy ride during this programme, which is called Good Life in Germany. What she didn't know, though, is that Reem Shawil, a local teenager from Rostock, was in the audience. She's a Palestinian who moved to Germany 4 years ago from a refugee camp in Lebanon, and their exchange actually left the poor girl in tears. Let's take a listen to what exactly was said.
Ziele so wie
jeder andere, klar,
genau.
Ja.
Also ich möchte studieren, wirklich ist wirklich ein Wunsch und ein Ziel, das ich gerne schaffen möchte.
Ich verstehe das und dennoch muss ich jetzt auch, das ist manchmal auch hart Politik, aber du weißt auch, in den palästinensischen Flüchtlingslagern im Libanon gibt es noch Tausende und Tausende, und wenn wir jetzt sagen, ihr könnt alle kommen und ihr könnt alle aus Afrika kommen und ihr könnt alle kommen, das können wir auch nicht schaffen. Oh, komm. Du hast das doch prima gemacht.
Ich glaube nicht, Frau Bundeskanzlerin, dass es da ums Prima-Machen geht, sondern dass es natürlich eine sehr belastende Situation ist.
Das weiß ich, dass es eine belastende Situation ist. Und deshalb möchte ich sie trotzdem.
As you can see, it was rather a cold response from Angela Merkel. They're basically fundamentally saying politics is difficult and there are thousands of people like you and Germany can't welcome them all. And unsurprisingly, that reduced the girl to tears because her family is facing deportation. They've not yet had their asylum application given the go-ahead, given the green light. And unsurprisingly, there's been a lot of reaction to it. The hashtag #MerkelStreichelt was trending very strongly in Germany, and that basically means Merkel strokes. They were mocking her attempts to really comfort this young woman who was very upset by what she had to say. This gentleman, Jan Schnorrenberg, is actually from the Green Party's youth wing, and he said explaining to a young girl live on camera that her fate doesn't matter to you is just shameful. And other reactions very similar. Boris Mayer here saying that as a Christian, as a politician, she'd failed, and as a human being too. Interestingly, though, the local, the German version of the local, which is written in English, actually reports that the girl herself has defended Merkel against the criticism that she's received. They quote her as saying, she listened to me and then gave her opinion. I'm fine with that. Now, the other thing that's interesting in this article, the local points out that actually there is a new law in Germany, and it was only ratified last month. And for some reason, Merkel didn't bring this up, whether she was unaware of it, whether she was unsure of it, because it's so new. But basically, they say that Reem Shawil's chances of staying in Germany are very high, because this new law means that if a minor has been in Germany for 4 years, then they have a very good chance of being able to stay.
So which would have been the appropriate answer had she thought
exactly.
of it. A fairly positive reaction then from the girl herself. Emma, what about the rest of the world beyond Germany's borders?
Well, taking a look at the world news, there does seem to be quite a mixed response on this one. The United Kingdom's Guardian newspaper is very measured in its response. They say Angela Merkel comforts sobbing refugee but says Germany can't help everyone. They go on to talk about the facts and figures involved, basically saying that 450,000 asylum applications have been made so far this year. That's more than twice the total for the whole of 2014. So there you get a hint of the scale of the problem going on here. Vox, however, is unequivocal in its criticism, saying Angela Merkel should be ashamed for her response to this sobbing Palestinian girl. They say that if the response feels wrong, it's because it is. And they point out this is one of the most powerful women in the world, basically reducing one of the most powerless girls in the world to tears live on television.
And of course, Merkel is again featuring, among others, in a magazine cover that's causing controversy in the UK. What's this one about?
Yes, the New Statesman has rather strangely created this front cover, The Motherhood Trap, Why Are So Many Successful Women Childless? And it's caused a lot of controversy. The women depicted Nicola Sturgeon, the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, Theresa May, one of the Labour leadership contenders, Liz Kendall, and Angela Merkel herself. Now, when this was published, the actual front cover, Nicola Sturgeon's reaction was immediate. She says, "We appear to have woken up in 1965 this morning." She wasn't happy at all. And interestingly, the Huffington Post points out that she actually had an exchange with Helen Lewis, the writer of the article. Helen Lewis said, "Would love to chat about this once you've read the piece." Interesting that such a personal article involving someone's choice not to have children, she didn't actually speak to Nicola Sturgeon in the first place. Anyway, Nicola Sturgeon then said, "Once I've read the piece, I'll let you know what I think of it." And this was her reaction. Good analysis from Helen Lewis, but crass cover reinforces the very prejudices that she talks about. Now, if we look at the article itself, it is a very different take to the cover, which is very old-fashioned looking, and perhaps that's what it's trying to do, show that we haven't moved on as much as we think. Everyone talks about women can have it all, and maybe that cover is trying to point out that not just yet. But the article starts, "It seems like a great time to be a woman in politics, but the fact that childless women are vilified as selfish while so few mothers make it to the top reveals an uncomfortable truth."
Thank you very much, Emma James. A look there at what's making headlines on social media. Media Watch, thank you very much.